Welcome to JazzTime.com. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves from the comfort of their own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you want to know the price of the watch, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate it if you will buy a watch from JazzTime.com once in a while. Today we'll be doing a review on the newly updated Submariner model. This is the 126613. Updated for 2020. We'll be going over some of the key features that that Rolex has changed from this model from the previous model to this model. We'll be going over the dial, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. Okay. So the dial configuration I currently have here is the widely popular blue dial with the blue ceramic bezel. This is only available on the two-tone version of the Submariner watches. The previous model was the 116613, and of course the previous generation before that was the 16613. Now this is the 126613, the newly updated for 2020. So for a dial configuration in general, practically the same. So we have maxi hour markers with circular hour markers from 1 to the 2, 3 to the 4, and so on and so forth. Index hour markers for the 6 and 9 o'clock position. Triangular 12 o'clock position hour marker. We still have the Mercedes hour hand along with the minute hand as well, all luminous fill with a highly legible display. It's called the Chromalight Display, which has a long-lasting blue luminescence, and I actually can show you how that looks. So let me go ahead and charge up this lume here and shut off my light box. So 1 second. And there we are. You can see beautiful blue luminescence. One of my favorite things about this luminescence in general is that it sort of reflects off the walls of the watch, so it adds a little depth to the face of the watch because of that reflection against the wall, and also just makes it easier to read overall. So you'll be able to read this watch during the day, during the day and the night as well. Specifically, this is a diver's watch, so if you're diving down deep, you'll be able to see your watch underwater as well. So beautiful blue luminescence on that. Besides that, we still have the date window at the 3 o'clock position with the Cyclops lens on top of that sapphire crystal for magnification and easier viewing of that date. One thing I'm going to zoom in here on is the text of the watch. So we have the Rolex Oyster Bracelet date with the crown logo text at the 12 o'clock position here, and then we have the Submariner. So actually, let me go ahead and move this out of the way so you can actually see that text. There we are. You can see the Submariner text at the 6 o'clock position has a 300 meters or 1,000 feet, meaning that's its water resistance for this watch, as this is, once again, this is a diver's watch. They want to boast about that water resistance. And we have the superlative chronometer officially certified, meaning that this watch is within Swiss specs, and we'll talk about that in the movement. Two things that are updated about the text at the 6 o'clock position, you see this little Swiss made here. We have the little Rolex crown logo in between that as well. Most of the newer generations of Rolex watches will have this sort of Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position with that crown logo in between. Some do not, but most of the case it does have this Swiss made with Swiss crown logo, Swiss crown made. All right. And the other change that most people haven't recognized is that the text on the dial itself, the text is actually in the white now. It used to be a gilded text on the previous model, so it used to match with the sort of yellow gold coloration that you would see on the bezel and on the hour markers. The hour markers are still fashioned in 18 karat yellow gold, so it still has a hinge of yellow gold, but they decided to opt for white text now, as it makes it much easier to read and pops from the face of the dial much easier, so it makes it easier to read against that dark blue on the face. But all in all, you can see still the beautiful sunburst blue dial. You can see the sort of radiation, the sort of contrasting of colors from darker shades of blue to lighter shades of blue, and that's the typical features of a sunburst dial. So when you're walking around in the light, you'll see it sort of radiate in various bluish colors on the face of the watch. It makes it much more appealing to the eye. All right. Moving on to the bezel, still same style bezel. We still have a blue ceramic bezel. Stainless steel models have these Arabic numerals and these every 5 indices here. They're usually dusted in a platinum, but these ones are dusted in a gold. As you can see, they're toned against nicely versus that blue. But besides that, the bezel still serves the same function. It's a unidirectional bezel, only can shift to the left, cannot shift to the right. So if you wanted to track your elapsed time, you would simply shift that period dot to the minute hand, and then you'll be able to track the elapsed times from then on. Of course, being a unidirectional bezel, the reason for that is if you're diving and you're trying to track your oxygen levels, then you want to be able to have the correct timing, and you wouldn't want to bump your bezel into anything that would cause it to miscalculate your current reserves. But of course, if most people who do buy submariners, you're probably not actually diving. You just like the sort of aesthetic of a submariner. You can still use it for other mundane things, like seeing how fast you could run a mile, or tracking a business meeting, or even just tracking how long it takes takes to cook something. You can just simply set it, and then take a quick glance at your watch to see where that's at for the elapsed time. So it's a small little feature, but it's still nice to have. Alright, moving on to the case now. So this is where most of the changes are. So the case size is a 41mm case size. So from my index finger to my thumb here, that's 41mm in diameter. The lugs of the case have been slimmed down. As you can see from the left and right lug, they've been slimmed down. We actually do have a comparison video coming up of the previous model, so you can see those changes side by side. If you're interested in that, check out our YouTube channel. But you're gonna have to take my word for it on this video. So the lugs have been slimmed down. The whole case size as well has been slimmed down as well. So it's got that sort of date just treatment, because back a few years ago, the Datejust 2 was discontinued for the Datejust 41, and these were some of the changes that they did. Is that, well, the Datejust 2 to the Datejust 41 was still the same size, so it's 41 to 41, but they adjusted the sizing of the case to make it much more slim, make that profile sit very nicely against the wrist, and then they slimmed down the lugs of the case to also make it nice and in proportion overall. Same thing with the top. You can see nice slimming down of that case as well. All right, now let me show you the crown functions. So I'm going to unwind the crown counterclockwise as shown. In the standard position is where you can wind the watch. About 15 to 20 winds, clockwise turns is all you need to get the watch started once more from a dead stop. Pulling the crown out to the next position will allow you to adjust that date instantaneously. So at the 3 o'clock position, you can see how quickly and easy it is to adjust that date by going clockwise. And then pulling the crown out to the next position will allow you to adjust the hands bi-directionally, as I'm doing. Of course, in this final position, the second hand is stopped, so I've actually stopped it around the 5-second mark. Pressing the crown back in, we'll start it once more, and always make sure to screw the crown nice and tight in against the case, as you want to keep this watch water resistant. Specifically for this watch, as I mentioned already, this is it's 300 meters or 1,000 feet, as set at the 6 o'clock position. I actually didn't show you the crown side, so I want to actually show you how the crown side looks. You can see a Rolex crown logo on the 18 karat yellow gold crown. It has the 3 dot indices, meaning that this watch is a triple waterproofness system, which helps, giving the watch its water resistance of that 100 meters to 300 meters, 1,000 feet. All right. Oh, forgot to mention. The crown guards as well. The crown guards have been slimmed down as well, obviously to match with the 41mm size. So they've been slimmed down as well. The crown itself, I believe had a minor change of just sort of slimming it down as well, in conjunction with the crown guards and with the case sizing. The bracelet's got the sort of update that the deep sea and sea dwellers got. Basically the bracelet itself, the center of the 3-piece links, this is an oyster style bracelet. So we have nice 904L steel made by Rolex, satin finish on the outer of the 3-piece links, 18 karat yellow gold high polish or mirror polish down the center. But what I was talking about with the deep sea and sea dweller updates is that the center links themselves actually got 1 millimeter width wider, so it helps keep the whole watch in proportion from the head to the strap, because before it sort of looked like a very thin strap with a very large head. It didn't look as good as it does now. So they've brought that update to the Submariner as well. So we have this nice beautiful tapering from the first link. You can see it very nicely in proportion from the slim down lugs to the newly widened bracelet, and it just looks fantastic. Looking all the way to the back, we see the clasp as well. Nicely brush finish on the sides, high polish once again, Rolex folding crown clasp. And then onto the other side as well, you can see very beautiful high polish of that 18 karat yellow gold, tapering once more. All right, now let me actually show you the clasp now. So the clasp is located here. The crown clasp simply opens up as so. This is the safety portion that sits on top of the folding oyster, revealing these nicely high polished clasp blades. You can see very beautiful embossment onto that high polished steel clasp blade. And of course, for behind the clasp, we still have the glide lock extension link, which is here. You can see, as I just did, I pulled the bracelet out at a 45-degree angle to pop it out, and you'll be able to adjust 2mm increments to a 2mm increments to a 20mm max total of adjustment for this watch. So I'm going to go ahead and set that back to the middle. So that's useful. You know, in the original sense, you would use it for, you know, if you're putting on your wetsuit to go diving, you would adjust for that millimeter increment that it'll add to your wrist. But, you know, you're probably going to be walking around, you know, going about your day at a mall or something with this watch. So if your wrist does start to, you start to heat up from just walking around, it's a hot day, then you'll be able to adjust that glide lock extension link to give your wrist a little more breathing space, which is a much more practical thing to have. So it's a very useful feature and something to keep something to think about when buying a Submariner watch versus some other sports pieces, such as, you know, the GMT, which has an easy link, which needs tools to be able to adjust on the fly. This one, you don't need any tools. You can just take it off your wrist and just adjust as you like. All right, so here is the case back. This is where the movement is housed in. There's a nice satin finish right there and the high polish bordering around. So the movement has been updated from a 31-35 movement to a 32-35 movement. Rolex has been updating more of the watches into a newer style movement. These newer style movements have different changes, such as trying to use more in-house made parts. So the 32-35 movement is a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement. It has a precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day, meaning it's within Swiss specs, which Swiss specs is -4 + 6 seconds a day, but Rolex double tests their movements for more precision, so it's -2 + 2 seconds a day. The shock absorbers have been updated from KAF shock absorbers to a Paraflex shock absorbers, which is Rolex's own in-house made shock absorbers, which they claim absorbs 50% more shocks than the industry standard. The escapement has been updated as well. The escapement wheel is now called the Chrono-G escapement wheel, which is made out of a nickel phosphorus. That nickel phosphorus helps with the reduction of magnetism to the watch, paired with the paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, in aiding with that resistance against magnetism. The escapement wheel being skeletonized as well helps with the reduction of inertia, so it helps with energy efficiency for the movement, which is significant because the previous model used to have a 48-hour power reserve. Now we're looking at a 70-hour power reserve, meaning you can put this watch down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Sunday evening, and it'll be keeping time just fine. Now let me actually go ahead and show you this watch on my wrist. So we're going to open up that folding clasp, open it up, close that up, and there we are. So you can see very beautiful blue, sunburst blue dial. You can see those nice shades of contrasting of blues on the dial of the watch. Just absolutely gorgeous. You won't find this style of model on, or rather this style on any other Rolex watch. So this is one of the unique watches. This is one of their best sellers, and there's a reason why. It's just a simple elegance and a nice use of their nice use of gold and blue just throughout the watch. It just really makes this watch shine. So if you're interested in this watch or any other watch for the lowest possible price, check out our website at jazztime.com. We have the lowest prices guaranteed. And if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video. Click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And If you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.